We're just a few weeks out from the March primary, and today one of the candidates for U.S. Senate made a stop in the Valley. Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose was in East Palestine speaking with local leaders about their concerns following last year's train derailment. First News reporter Kristen McFarland shares more.
Secretary of State Frank LaRose stood near the tracks of the derailment site this afternoon. He reflected on this past year and listened to local officials about the experience.
Things the government did well, state or federal, and how we can make sure that we sustain those, and things that the government didn't do well and how we can improve those for the future.
LaRose mentioned improving communication between federal and local governments during natural disasters. He also expressed his concerns that President Joe Biden has yet to visit the village.
It is common practice for the President of the United States to show up following a natural disaster. Too little, too late, for him to announce a visit a year after.
Offering long-term support for the people of East Palestine is a priority of LaRose, including first responders who arrived on site hours after the derailment.
If there, God forbid, are health ramifications that come about from that years or decades from now, those men and women need to get the help that they deserve.
While the community continues to repair, LaRose stressed moving forward without sensationalizing the past.
Like every community, they've had a challenge. They've emerged from this episode, though, stronger, more united, more resilient as a result of that challenge. And I walk through this town, I see people raising their families. I see business owners growing their enterprises, and these are hardworking people.
In East Palestine, Kristen McFarland, WKBN 27 First News.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lindsay Watson. Thanks for watching the WKBN 27 First News YouTube channel. If you want more video news, subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the WKBN 27 First News app for breaking news alerts.